Hey guys, I hope everybody's had a great weekend. So before, I think a little while ago, I mentioned that I got a really good condition PS2 Slim. I literally just took the plastic off of this thing, but I did notice that the laser was dead, and I hope it's just the laser. It's able to read CD-based games, able to read the blue disc, but it can't read DVDs. I've already gone to clean the laser to see if it was just that. Maybe there might have been some dust on it. And it didn't do anything really. It's still the same case. It's still the CD-based games work fine, but the DVDs don't. And if you know, or if you don't know, the laser has two different diodes on it that pick up both the CD and DVD-based games. So in this, I'm going to show you how to change out the laser for this, because I hope that the laser is the culprit for it, because that's the cheap way to do it. If not, then I'll have to use like a multimeter and get into the board and figure out if there's any capacitors that went out or anything like that, which I hope not to do that. Honestly, it would be just a decoration if it gets down to that, because I'm not trying to get too much into something where I can just replace it, and I already have extra ones anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. But before we do, let's go ahead and look at the way this laser is. So before you can change out the laser, you're going to need a soldering iron to take the solder blob apart here. It's one big blob when you get it, and then once you hit it with the soldering iron, it should turn into 3 separate traces here. Solder wicks might help out a little bit. It doesn't really, I have one, it doesn't really matter too much, honestly. But definitely get the soldering iron to split that blob up to the 3 little traces there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this guy apart and get down to the laser. I'm not gonna bore you with the details because I've already taken this apart on camera before. Not this one particularly, but this model. So I'll go ahead and get that done. There we go. Man, that laser looks like it's in really good shape. It's a shame it's not reading anything. All right, so you have a couple of things here. It looks like you have this is where this hits the rail here. This is how it moves back and forth. You also have, this is the motor. This is the part that it's on here, the little rail it's on. It kind of guides it back and forth. And then this little bit here kind of holds it in, and this one as well. They did a lot more of an improvement for this compared to the original one, because the original one had a plastic bit here, and the bar was tensioned in by a screw, but honestly it was really easy to dislodge it. So let me go ahead and get this bar out of here, and we can check to see the ribbon cable in the back. Very tiny screws. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this part off too while we're here. Okay. This is going to go on to the new laser. Let's go ahead and remove this here. Get this bar off of here. Might not be a bad idea to lubricate this when you put it back in. Since this hasn't been played that much, I'm not going to really bother too much with it. Alright, so here's the little tensioner here. You want to take that off, and then your ribbon cable should pop right out. Be very careful with your ribbon cable here with this little guide bit, because the adhesive, you know, after 20 something years is not going to be too strong on it. So you definitely want to make sure that this has been all the way released before you start pulling on it. But there's the laser. Like I said, it looks like it's in great condition, so I don't have high hopes for what's going to happen after this. But let's go ahead and get the new one in. We'll start in the reverse order. Let's go ahead and get this ribbon cable back in here and tension it back down. Like I said, you want to be kind of careful with it, because once you lose this this plastic guide piece, like it's almost a wrap for this cable. So let's get that in there. That worked a little bit better. All right. You also want to mind this slot here. All right, let's go ahead and get this back on here. There we go. Pop this guy on here as well. But let's get that bar tension first. Alright, so I went ahead and screwed these back in here. I had to answer the door for a second, so I stopped the video while I was doing that. But yeah, you make sure this is on here. Make sure it's on the rod. Make sure the rod is tensioned down, and then we will get this here. Now, this part usually ends up kind of odd, as long as it's not, I mean, if it's not done right. I usually like to pull it to the back, because that's where it started. And then, oh, just make sure it's on the guides. And pop this back in. All right, so now it looks like it's in the, should be in the grooves. If you notice, if you move it, it will move along with it. You don't want to do it too much though, because you end up damaging the plastic on there. There's still a couple of plastic teeth still here, so you don't want to do that. But yeah, you just want to make sure it moves with it. And it looks like it does. Putting it back in its original position, right about here or so. All right. And I think what I'll do here is, just to kind of cover our bases, I'll clean this laser up a little bit. Chances are I probably touched it with my hand sometime, so I'll get a little IPA on that thing, and get it finished up. And then after that, I'll go ahead and screw everything back in, and we can go ahead and give it a test. So I've got a couple of games I want to try out. I have Gradius here, which is a blue disc, a compact disc game. So let me go ahead and pop that in. I probably could have chosen a less expensive game to do this with, but let's go ahead and try it. Now, it should still work with blue discs if it isn't the laser. I just want to make sure I didn't mess anything up. Alright. Looks like we're good. Just let it load a little bit. Okay. Alright, now we're going to try a DVD-based game, a silver disc. Once again, probably could have chosen a cheaper disc here, but let's give it a go, huh? Yeah, easy as you like. Let's make sure it goes all the way through, though. We don't want to give ourselves any false hope. Nice. There we go. One more success for the PS2 restorations. I will see you later this week.